Hey guys, welcome to another installment of the Critical Review. Today I'm going to be talking about my spoiler-free review on Spider-Man Brand New Day. This review, being spoiler-free, is probably going to be slightly vague in some areas, but if you want to see the spoiler review, you can head over to my channel and check that out as well. Kicking this review off, we're going to talk about the cast. Our returning Spider-Man is Tom Holland, Zendaya is playing MJ, Jacob Batalon is going to be Ned, I don't know if I pronounced his last name right or not, and Jon Bernthal is entering the fray as the Punisher. Each one of these cast members seem to have done a pretty good job in this from my opinion standpoint, although I will say, and this may be a little bit of a surprise to you, the standout has always been the character Ned to me, not because he has superpowers or he does anything crazy, but Ned is so relatable and he gives that comedy relief that Marvel movies are so well known for. Tom Holland yet again kills it as Spider-Man, but in a completely different way. Now, in the prior movies, it looked like he was a kid trying to grow into a superhero role. Now, in this movie, he's been doing this for a while. He has a couple years under his belt, and this is years after the last installment. Over the last couple years, Spider-Man's been living a pretty reclusive lifestyle. He's been in like a loft of an apartment building, fighting crime, creating his own tech. He's had no support system. Aunt May is gone, and his friends now don't remember who he is. This kind of delves into a deeper, more emotional take on the character Peter Parker. Spider-Man, yes, he's the main character, but Peter Parker, the second half of this, is just as much in the spotlight as Spider-Man is. As seen in the trailer, Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man, is going through some changes. And by changes, I mean physical changes. Now, that does not overshadow or crowd the movie. It's just a nice subplot that kind of keeps you interested and really raises the stakes of the movie. Yet another battle that he faces is his friends living amongst him and him not having told them what's going on or that they used to be friends, or just unloading the huge package of what happened in the prior movies. This is a struggle for Peter, and you really get that sense throughout the movie. As far as the cinematography goes, in my opinion, this is the most well-shot Spider-Man movie to date. There's different sequences that really stood out to me, and we've seen a lot of Spider-Man movies because there's been 3 different actors that have played them with their own sets of movies. However, this one to me really stands out. If you recall in the trailer, there's a point where you see Peter Parker's eye inside of the mask, and it's almost a first-person perspective of him swinging. The best way that I can describe it is being on a roller coaster, feeling that wind rush by your head and really being immersed in kind of what he's seeing, which is a large departure from just that side view of him swinging and then the zoom out as he swings away. It gives you an idea of the vastness of the city, but not really what Peter is experiencing as he's swinging through the air. One of my prior concerns was Jon Bernthal's Punisher being slightly neutered in this, considering it's a PG-13 rating. Now, how they used the Punisher in this was really clever. They didn't take away from the Punisher's lore, his style or attitude, but they still incorporated him enough to have good chemistry with him and Parker. In my opinion, I would say that the chemistry was better than Daredevil and Punishers in the prior series that they had been in together. Throughout this story, Peter looks to Frank Castle almost as an equal, like they're the same person. However, through explanation and conversation, he realizes that it's not the same thing. Frank's reason for being there is much different than Peter's. This creates a fun dynamic, and throughout the story, it creates a good subtle conflict as well. The main antagonist in this is a complete curveball. I never saw it coming. I was trying to piece it together, like who could this be, and it really just slaps you in the face. Like, you don't see it coming. It's very interesting. It's a completely different take on a character that I would never expect to be in this, and I actually enjoyed it. However, there are definitely some inconsistencies with the character development and reasoning, and you could definitely poke holes in it. By no stretch of the imagination is this a perfect movie. That being said, they did enough things right in this movie that it never takes you out of it, and it created an enjoyable experience throughout. Personally, what I think you're going to be looking at in this film is going to be a slightly more mature, brooding version of Peter Parker, struggling with not just the main villain of this film or the main conflict, but other internal conflicts as well. It creates an emotional ride that has ups and downs, and if you're bringing somebody to this that's sensitive, you might want to bring a box of tissues with you. Overall, I think that it was a fun experience. However, in my opinion, the ending, I kind of lacked a little bit of closure for some characters. There's some things that I think they could have expanded upon or brushed in that would have probably made this movie a little bit more fulfilling in the end. However, I do enjoy the ride. I did enjoy seeing Spider-Man back up on the screen. Tom Holland kills it. The whole cast was awesome. The effects were great. At no point was I looking at things and I said, oh, that doesn't look good. The CG was on point. It's just a good movie, great summer flick. I would strongly recommend that if you're a Spider-Man fan, that you go check out Spider-Man Brand New Day. And if you have a minute, if you could please tap that like button. This channel is very new. I'm just getting back into this, and you have no idea how much I appreciate that. Alright guys, and until next time, this is a Critical Review. Look for the spoiler review on my page.